The new installment of the Planet of the Apes film series debuted in May 2024 and has been a hit with the public. Picture a world where apes are not just stronger but wiser than humans and live in different clans. Welcome to Galore Techs. Today, we'll explore what technological wonders were utilized to create this epic sci-fi fantasy and deep dive into how these different technologies, along with a dab of creativity, birthed this visual spectacle. Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes is the 10th movie in the franchise and has been directed by the American director Wes Ball. The film is set after generations of Caesar's reign and showcases advanced techniques with CGI, visual effects, and performance capture, really pushing the boundaries of what is possible in cinema today. The 145-minute movie had a considerable budget of $160 million, and this investment is reflected in the film's global box office performance, which saw a strong return and succeeded in gaining a massive $376.6 million revenue. People generally had good comments about the movie overall, and many went ahead and compared the rich visuals to Avatar. The movie gained an 80% positive response on Rotten Tomatoes. Come to think of it, this movie is all about apes that are talking and behaving like humans, so it really was a tough job for the production team to make it look as realistic as possible on screen. And according to director Wes Ball, shooting a movie about apes without any actual apes was a grueling endeavor. What he said was, "You're not really ever shooting the movie, you're just shooting parts of the movie that you hope will come together months later and that you hope will work on top of each other." Now keep in mind the movie relied heavily on computer graphics, with about 30 to 40 minutes of its runtime being entirely digital or 100% CGI. The rest of the movie had real locations around Sydney, Australia to enrich the visual experience. Weta FX played a pivotal role, with Eric Winquist serving as the visual effects supervisor. This visual effects studio has, of course, a mountain load of experience from the previous Apes films, as well as the Avatar series. Weta FX is the force behind the delivery of more than 1,500 visual effects shot just for the movie. Here's a fun fact for you. Kingdom of the Apes has only 38 shots where no VFX have been used. The actors had to go out on the performance capture stage, where they pretended that the set and the environment were all around them, and later on in post-production, the visual effects team had to put it all in there and make it look real. This technology is an upgrade from the previously used motion capture technology. Now, motion capture translates the actors' movements, while performance capture records the facial movements intricately. Actors wore helmets equipped with 2 stacked stereo cameras to capture detailed facial movements, and they also had arm extenders to move like apes. Their bodies were tracked with 101 dots to record their expressions and their muscle movements accurately. Now, these cameras allow the post-production team to reconstruct a 3D depth mesh at 48 frames per second. The actors wore special performance capture suits, fitted with more active markers that use LEDs and emit infrared light. Now, this method allowed the actors' performances to translate seamlessly into the CGI characters in harsh, rugged outdoor conditions, making them appear more realistic and even more engaging on the screen. The real trick for visual effects is taking the human performance and transposing that onto the ape's face and body. They did run into one problem that came forward when they were working on the orangutan character named Raka. Orangutans have a longer jaw structure and their front teeth protrude more. They have smiling faces, and they never really look angry in real life, so a lot of eye and brow adjustments were needed. In scenes where Raka had to look serious, there was a lot of editing done to fix that. Director Wes Ball mentioned that the first 10 minutes of this movie were entirely CGI. This included the creation of detailed environments and even replacing real water with CGI inspired by techniques from Avatar: The Way of Water. The extensive use of CGI allowed the filmmakers to craft scenes and settings that really would have been impossible to build physically, and that enhanced the film's visual storytelling. The VFX rendering alone for this movie took a total collective 964 million hours. That's a long time. Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes movie was actually shot not once, but twice. Why, you ask? Well, don't worry, I'll tell you. Here, they used the clean plate technique. They shot the movie once with the actors and once without them. This technique gave filmmakers huge power and flexibility because they could pick and choose different takes and different shots together in ways that really couldn't be used in a traditional live-action movie. Wes Ball chose a unique blend of vintage and modern camera equipment to achieve the film's distinct aesthetic light. They used cameras like the Arri Alexa LF with Panavision Primo 70 and Ultra Vista lens, Arri Alexa Mini LF with Panavision Primo 70 and Ultra Vista lenses, and also the Blackmagic Ursa Mini Pro for some scenes. And on top of that, the movie utilized 60-year-old Panavision C-Series lenses for that classic look, giving certain scenes a real vintage feel. They also used the T-Series, which is the more modern and anamorphic lens. The director wanted to complement the new age of the apes with ugly and harsh sunlight, and not go with the previously opted dark and brooding look. The mix of old and new filmmaking techniques was used just because the director preferred it, and honestly, we've got to agree that this choice went perfectly with the storyline. Now during the filming, one significant challenge was animating the water, especially when it interacted with the ape's fur. WhatFX creates highly detailed water simulations and required immense computational power, with a single river scene needing 1.2 billion megabytes of data. This level of detail ensured that interactions between the apes and their environment were convincing and immersive. And now something fascinating about this movie is the use of artificial intelligence through machine learning and advanced visual effects. AI was used to enhance the performance capture technique and create even more convincing visuals. And according to Winquist, the visual effects supervisor, some of the most important machine learning tools used were called solvers. He also explained exactly what this tool is. Developed by WhatFX, the solver is part of their Loki framework, which is used to simulate complex hair and fur dynamics. This tool allows for realistic interactions between elements like wind and water with the ape's fur, enhancing the lifelike appearance of the character. It takes data, whether the dots on an actor's face or their mocap suit, and it runs it through an algorithm that takes care of the physics every step of the way. This means it takes where every single point was in the previous frame, looks at the velocity, and places the next one right where it needs to be. It also gave a subtle mouth shape change. It gives creases and wrinkles to the CGI ape faces when they speak every word. Now, some of the water scenes in the movie posed immense complications like we said, like the one that takes place on the raging river and another where a massive flood of ocean water is seen. The visual effects team used Avatar Way of Water Solver to create these scenes, and it helped them simulate how water would respond to elements like the hairy bodies of the apes. When the apes came out of the water and drained off their fur, the water had to be extremely high resolution just to look realistic. Now looking at the public response to the movie, they really did a fantastic job with the VFX integration, and it's only gonna get better in the future. That's right folks, back in June 2022, it was planned for Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes to be the first of a trilogy of the Planet of the Apes films. Director Westphal even confirmed it in December 2023. So we can hope for a sequel in the coming years. For now though, this is a great film to watch and appreciate just how far cinema has come. So tell us, have you seen this movie in the theaters? What part was the most mesmerizing for you? That's it for today. I hope you enjoyed the video. Remember to like, comment, and subscribe for more interesting Galore Techs videos. Thanks for watching.